It's your boy, U-Goboy. That's Mongo, all right? This is the U-Goboy podcast channel. But before we start, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got unfiltered, authentic conversations. We got sports talk. We got drops. Oh, yeah. So, Mongo, what should they do?
Like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Yahtzee. The biggest difference I see with this Knicks team versus the last two during the Brunson administration, the Mike Brown effect. The issue that Thibodeau, my biggest issue with him is his like Brunson's usage. There was no plan. It was like, listen, dribble it into the end of the earth and just put up 50 shots. And the problem with that is over the course of a playoff run, you're gonna hit a wall. And he hit a wall against the Pacers. He hit a wall again against the Pacers. What I've seen with Brown, he has a plan. He has a plan. He's like, listen, I'm gonna get you off the floor. I'm gonna get Hart's gonna take over. I'm gonna get Shamet. I'm gonna get other guys, OG. I'm gonna get other guys to shoulder the load and allow you to either rest or be a decoy. Let some of that usage come down. That way, come third and fourth quarter, closing time, semisonic style, now it's time for you to take over. Let's get the ISO ball. Then you're fresh.
You go, boy.
Yo, yo, yo. Do not adjust your TV sets. You see this face. You see this beard. You see that beard. Episode 80. Oh my God, sports talk. We got Knicks. We got trades. We got Danhausen somewhere here in Jersey. We're here at Stellar 19 yet again. Mongo, are you ready?
Not cursed yet. Ready to go.
Episode 80 of the U-Goboy podcast. Sports talk. Me and Mongo. Let's get it, baby. Yahtzee.
Savage. Yo, my bottom chicken, my OG, came through both times. I swear to God, my Mount Rushmore, my face 4 times. Top rope, I'm dropping bows. Rest in peace to Randy Savage. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. Every day I'm trying to manage. Everybody got an agenda. Everybody got a vendetta. Every day I'm trying to do better. These poor sheets got new leather. Young star, Trey Diggs. I'm the best man like Tay Diggs. Me and Heartthrob back to back like Murtaugh and Riggs. I'm so lethal, baby.
Mongo, first and foremost, it's your boy, U-Goboy.
You go, boy.
And oh yeah, that's Mongo. You know who that guy is. Yes, sports talk. We are live and direct from Stellar 19 Studios. I love this place.
Awesome.
Oh, Jersey's in the building.
Amazing studio.
Quick sidebar, Bravery Studios is up and running, so nice. Episode 81, we'll see you out there. I'll say that about 10 times today. But we are here for more sports talk. A lot to talk about, baby. Two massive game-changing trades in the NFL, NBA Finals. You know what, Danhausen? Let's get right down to business. Let's start off with those Knicks. Go All New right. York, go New York, go. Spike Lee, where are you? Mongo, so we're gonna try to drop this immediately, but as we record today, Knicks in 4.
Knicks in 4.
Knicks are up 2-0. Knicks are up 2-0. You're the resident Knicks fan here. You know, I'm a Rocket fan. Akeem Olajuwon. I'm still celebrating my 94 and 95 championships.
Well earned.
Well into the past.
Listen, if we win this thing, when we're doing this when we're 70, I'm still gonna be celebrating this one, so I get it.
Of course,
totally get it.
Of course. What is going on in this series? The Knicks look amazing. They're leading as we speak. They're on a precipice. Halfway home to the first championship in nearly over half a century, 53 years. How's it feel? What are the vibes like right now as a Knicks fan?
Oh, I mean, this is sad. This is heaven. I mean, this is fantastic. And the thing is, there have always been talks, you know, whether they be lies of LeBron coming to New York or 1% truths of Giannis coming to New York, but it's always been who's going to come and save us, right? And so to see it being done this way now, again, it's Jalen Brunson's team. You know, Cat is his Robin. They're the stars, but you're seeing, you know, Josh Hart putting up 15 boards, things of that nature. You're seeing everybody contribute, and to do it in the way they're doing it, old school style, where, you know, because I still have fond memory. I mean, obviously, you know, the 90s, right? They were Ewing's team. The Starks and Mason were the Robins there. But you have fond memories of what, you know, Charles Smith or Hubert Davis or even, you know, the Doug Christies of the world could contribute. And it's got that feeling again where everyone is pitching in. I mean, my favorite stat so far, these first 2 games, the guy who led plus minus in game 1 had 3 points in Josh Hart, and Alvarado was tied for plus minus in the second game. He had 2 points on 0 field goals made, literally contributing without the ball. And that's hard to beat, and that's why we're at 2-0 right now.
Like the video, like the video, like the video. Episode 80 of the U-Goboy
Yahtzee.
podcast.
That might be my favorite. That might be my favorite stat of the day.
Big Yahtzee's there. Big Yahtzee's there. And the pod turns, by the time this episode drops, the pod turns 4. All the Dom DeMarcos, all the Ric Flairs, the beauty post. Yeah, I mean, there are so many storylines. And again, we're halfway home, a lot of series to be played, or Knicks in 4, who knows. But I want to focus on the fact that the biggest difference I see with this Knicks team versus the last two during the Brunson administration, the Mike Brown effect, and just the usage. Because
go for it, and I'll be right behind you.
The biggest issue I had, and we talked about it in playoff runs past, of my issue with the usage of Brunson, very Christian McCaffrey-esque. If we could make parallels to football, you got a great player, okay, a great player. Brunson is not overrated. Brunson's not a fringe good player. Brunson's one of the elite players, elite scorers, elite guards in the sport of basketball, hands down. The issue that Thibodeau, my biggest issue with him is his Brunson's usage. There was no plan. It was listen, shake those braids, dribble it into the end of the earth, and just put up 50 shots. And the problem with that is, over the course of a playoff run, you're gonna hit a wall. And he hit a wall against the Pacers. He hit a wall again against the Pacers. What I've seen with Brown, he has a plan. He's like, listen, I'm going to get you off the floor. I'm going to get Hart's going to take over. I'm going to get Shamet. I'm going to get other guys, OG. I'm going to get other guys to shoulder the load and allow you to either rest or be a decoy. Let some of that usage come down. That way, come third and fourth quarter, closing time, semisonic style, now it's time for you to take over. Let's get the ISO ball. Then you're fresh. You didn't take 30 shots. You took 15. You took 12. His usage and the way that he's been utilized throughout this entire run has been masterful. And again, and of course, the emergence of Cat. That's my other point. But let's stick here with the Brunson factor. Do you see the vision of what Brown has done with Brunson, and which has made him more effective during this playoff run?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in fairness, because you know me, I was a Tibbs guy.
Yeah,
and I do want to go back to Mike Brown, because I think we've really created quite a paradox with Mike Brown. I think we need to talk about in just a minute.
Agreed.
But before we do, I've always been a Tibbs guy, and the thing I will say in defensive, you're not wrong. Tell me when I'm telling lies. You're absolutely right.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Did Tibbs necessarily have all these options? When I was doing the show with Kilroy, Julius Randle's first playoff run, I remember saying to him, this is literally Julius Randle and 14 guys who, when they throw a bounce pass, I expect it to end up in the fourth row. I think that's exactly how I defined it.
True.
And I stand by that. They didn't go 5 guards deep. They didn't go. I told you, the key moment in the Sixer series was when Mike Brown said, you're trying to get my guys in foul trouble? Here, have an Ariel Huckporty, 6 more fouls to deal with. Does he think Huckporty's going to win a game? Nobody trusts him enough to put him in the second quarter of a playoff game. The Knicks didn't have that 3, 4, 5 years ago, even last year. So, Mike Brown is, and credit where credit's due to the front office. This is a great job by them of putting this together. But on the flip side of that, there aren't a lot of teams where you never hear any of these guys complaining about their time. You never hear any of these guys demanding anything. And I think in that sense, and I'll go more down the Mike Brown rabbit hole in a minute, but I think we forget sometimes some of the teams that he has coached, particularly, I'm going to kind of segue over here, but particularly when he was an assistant for that Warriors team, right?
Yeah.
They had way more chefs than they knew what to do within the kitchen.
Agreed.
And most importantly, Josh Hart through 2 games, 1.5 points, 10.5 rebounds. Tell me he's Draymond Green without telling me he's Draymond Green. That's what we're doing here.
That's another. Oh, he's on fire, smoking today, baby. Hart's playing his it's giving me shades of Dennis Rodman. Minus the antics and minus the wedding dresses.
But it's angry.
But yes, or glue guys like Udonis Haslem.
Yeah.
Guys are just, they're not going to give you 20 points. They probably won't total 20 points for the whole series. But I believe in game 1, he had 15 rebounds in game 1.
And ninth in field goals on the team despite starting.
Yes. That you need that type of, you need your role players to be stars at their positions. I think Kendrick Big Perk said that on one of the many billion ESPN shows before the layoffs. Like that. Those type of performances is what you need. Hart's been all over the place. He's their best rebounder right now. He's a better sure. Right now. Hart is a better rebounder in this series than Cat. That's and segueing to Cat. Cat's gonna get some love. Cat's been playing out of his mind.
He was waiting. He was just waiting the whole time.
Yes. I'm not bashing my Jersey brother right there. Zest aside. You know what I mean? That's a foul.
Savage.
Cat is playing. Cat's playing like he belongs on this stage. And mind you, this is a guy, this was his third consecutive conference finals. A lot of people, and finally he gets over the hump. I remember Lisa Salters had mentioned that while he was holding the Eastern Conference trophy. He's like, listen, Cat, you've been a step away from the series 3 years in a row. How's it feel to finally get over? He's like, feels damn good. It feels good. And he's been playing out of it. They don't win game one without him. They don't. He just big rebounds. He's erased Wemby at times. I think Wemby was something crazy like 2 for 12 in game one when Cat was guarding him. And you need that. We'll get to the Wemby side of it too because you have to. Right, kind of hard to miss it, cause not to talk about a guy that's 10 feet tall. You know what I mean? But Cat's play and his performance thus far in this series has been iconic. It really has. And the Knicks aren't in this position without him.
My favorite analogy so far, Cat is to Wemby as Wemby is to Chet Holmgren.
Agreed.
And it was meant to be sarcastic, but I don't think it's as far off as people want to scoff at that about. It's not far-fetched,
brother. It's not. So, Cat has, and again, both sides of the floor, defensively, setting the tone, knocking key shots from downtown to cut into leads. Working with the bench when Brunson goes to the bench as well. It's just his basketball IQ and his awareness is, if this was Madden or NBA Live or 2K or whatever, his awareness would be at 99 right now because he just knows what to do in every situation, and it's been very beneficial to the Knicks thus far.
We're obviously going to have to talk about the end of game two. And have the bad Wemby conversation.
Yes.
But other than that particular moment in both games where you've seen runs, even I think so. If you want to try this exercise at home, go ahead. It's quite enjoyable. After the games, I look at the Yahoo play-by-play, and when you look, because in the moment you can easily try and over dissect everything, but when you look at it objectively, you see that when these teams have had these runs, it's just because one team, and I know this sounds a Yogi Berrism, but one team's making baskets, one team's not. And I know it sounds silly, duh, but it's not like all of a sudden a team's imploding or a team has 3 turnovers in a row, or one of the Knicks were the underdog, so they're trying to run out the shot clock, and as a result, they're getting off bad shots or something. No, just at different spots, one team has gotten hotter, one team has gotten not. And so it's been coming down to just who can dig deeper, who can find that plan E in the playbook, who can find that ninth guy who can hit a 3, whatever it might be. And right now, that's the Knicks. So again, you brought up Landry Shamet, and again, if you want to go back, splice back, in post, splice to when you said they don't win the game without him.
Yeah.
Now, when you're referring about Cat, but you could say that about Shamet in game one. You could say that about most of them. The game two was literally could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But Alvarado's been key, Shamet's been key,
OG
Hart's
again,
been key,
OG once again.
Hart's been Hart's been key. Brunson, obviously. You go right down the line, and even Mitch Robinson. Sometimes less is more. One free throw in game one?
Yeah.
Sign me up. Absolutely sign me up for that. Are you kidding me?
Yes, sir. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Episode 80 of the U-Goboy podcast, Sports Talk. We're live and direct from Stellar 19 Studios, and the pod is four. Keeping it on the series. You gotta. Let's have a conversation about Wemby,
okay?
Right? Because I feel like it's warranted, and I get what the league wants, right? It's very similar to all the big sports, and MLB wants Ohtani and Judge to be the face, and rightfully so. They're generational players. G-word. In hockey, remember the whole Sidney Crosby. That was a thing for a while, like just starving for a face.
Crosby, Ovi, right?
Yes,
Ovi.
You
try to get that natural matchup. That's why Spurs Thunder is so tasty.
Exactly. Like leagues want faces. They want faces. Coming into the season, with what historic performance from the Thunder and SGA. Basically, this time last year, I was coming from Nigeria, and SGA and the Thunder were sweeping everything. SGA had every single award: scoring champ, first team All NBA, All Star, Western Conference MVP, League MVP, Finals MVP. Like he's cemented literally from that first run. So he's your face, right? I feel like the league is very agenda driven. And they want Wemby to be the face of this league so bad. Like you see it in the Nike commercials. You see with the nuns at the games. You see it with the all you can do is pray. You know what I mean? And you see it with the propaganda. And this is a once in a lifetime type of talent. I remember on draft night at New Roads. I was reading about some of like his comps and some of like what scouts were saying about this guy. Your boy Tommy is loving life. Down 0-2 now, but he was loving life that night when they got him. About how Wemby, he was like the best like prospect in the history of North American sports. I read that from somebody from who knows, from the Yahoo Sports or Sports Illustrated or whatever. I feel like the league wants Wemby to win this championship, and wants not even so much the Spurs. They want Wemby to win this championship to cement and solidify him as the next guy. You know what I mean? Like Bron, he's got, who knows, hyperbolic time chambers aside. Bron has how many more years of being even in the league? You got SGA now. They want Wemby to be that next face of the league, and how important is this finals to, because again, he's young. He's a pup. Right. He's a baby. He's not even 25 years old, I don't even think yet. Like, how important is this finals series? And not just the outcome, but how he performs. How important is it to Wemby's legacy this early in his career?
Hot take. Get him
Go for it. Pipe bomb.
Pipe bomb.
Not at all.
Agreed there.
To be quite honest.
DeMarco.
The thing is, the league had a timeline on this kid.
Yeah,
I think everyone had a timeline on this kid, and we're ahead of schedule here. We are running early, and when our last New Roads episode, check it out, New Roads Media. I'll shamelessly plug too.
You can,
but Tommy and we had another guy, Kenny, with us, who are Spurs fans. And they said internally they still feel like the underdog. And I can get it, because at the end of the day, in a ring-chasing league, SGA has 1, Wemby has 0. By that definition alone, yeah, you're the underdog. I get that. So the only reason this matters is in the sense that you can't let, if next year the Thunder win again, well, now we're at 2-0, right? So in a vacuum, though, this means nothing. And, I compare it slightly to LeBron's first championship run. I think it was, when was that, 09, 08, somewhere right in there?
Yeah, 07, 09.
Where he just comes in and just promptly gets annihilated in his first go. It's just by
the Spurs.
There you go.
Yes.
And nobody terribly remembers that. Nobody terribly cares. We still just care about his rings versus Jordan. Now, again, because Jordan has an N-O at the end, if that's the bar, then it really doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
You're chasing 6. You're not. If LeBron ended up going 6-4, 6-5, 6-8, it didn't matter. He was chasing 6 because there was no. Well, Jordan did it in the minimum. He did it in the league min. As soon as you lost one, it's over.
Yeah.
And even Bill Russell, right? 11 of 13. Nobody's doing that either. Like, Wemby can win 11 on the next 13. No one's going to remember he lost 2. Spoiler.
Agreed.
So I look at that one, but even more so in this case, I look at Baby Shaq when he lost to the Rockets.
Yeah,
I think that's an even
sweet. I think that's an
even fairer comparison.
That's a perfect analogy, because
Cannon.
Again,
Cannon.
Jersey native.
Cannon.
Like,
Cannon.
Love you, Shaq.
Love you, Shaq. Love you, Shaq. Newark in the building. Brick City. Everyone knew Shaq was going to be Shaq.
Right.
Like, there's no, like, that's like a $100 question in Jeopardy. Like, that's a layup. Like, Shaq was going to be Shaq. Now, mind you, did we think he'd have to leave Orlando? I thought what him and Kobe became in LA, I thought he was going to have that with Penny, because they were both young. They were in the Blue Chips movie together. Like,
that's fair.
They were babies. Like, they get swept in 95 or whatever. Oh, they'll be back. Like, they're young. They got time or whatnot. But, the way free agency and money works, things happen. He goes and he becomes Shaq somewhere else. This is the starting five of the Spurs. This is what I was doing while you were having your soliloquy. De'Aaron Fox, he was a lottery pick last time I checked. Castle, championship pedigree with UConn.
And a lottery pick.
Vassell, lottery pick last time I checked.
Yeah, somewhere in those teens. But
Yeah.
if not, it's only because they've changed the rules. But yeah.
Champagne, and of course Victor Wemby as well as the kid from Rutgers.
And that's not even including, you got guys like Harrison Barnes, who not only again, I believe I definitely think lottery pick and champion, right? I mean, there's more to come there. I mean, Keldon Johnson, right on the precipice of I mean, they're all. This is a team that has been drafted well.
Yes,
it's what you want a team to do.
Yes,
I mean this team. I mean, and no offense, New England Patriots, but this is what the Patriots wanted to do, right?
Yes,
where Pop just handing off the reins here to Mitch, and that's what they wanted in New England, and that went horrible with Mayo, right?
Yeah, agreed.
So I think I've been saying all along that to me is the storyline this year in San Antonio, because if even by getting this far, I think they've already proved it. But if they can win it all, and if they can become, if this becomes what we all think it is, which is going to be Spurs Thunder in the Western Conference Finals for at least 7 of the next 10 times.
Yeah, sign me up.
I think you're at a discussion now. Again, you ask Papa Mongo, you ask people that generation, what is the epitome of a perfect franchise in basketball? It's Lakers and Celtics, right? For the first 40 years. I don't think there's if this does what we think it's going to do. I'm sorry, the Spurs are third. I mean, this is the definition of continuity, and you have to be really impressed with what the Spurs have done, basically from the day they drafted David Robinson to today. Which, I mean, we're looking at close to 50% of the NBA at this point. I mean, we're looking at a little under 45% of the NBA's history. The Spurs have done everything immaculately. Like, that's a pretty good track record.
It is. Like the video. I mean, to build your roster with homegrown guys.
Yeah.
Right now, in really all the major sports, it's kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing it in football. Nobody's drafting, developing, winning championships. Nobody's drafting, developing in basketball. Nobody's drafting, developing in baseball. You're gonna have your core guys that you want, that are homegrown guys, core guys.
Right.
But all the necessary ancillary pieces, and occasionally your big superstar to take you over the top, foreshadowing for the trades that we're going to talk about later. Like, it's an amalgamation, it's a combination of everything, but really wire to wire, core to ancillary guys, all homegrown drafted guys. That doesn't happen. No. It doesn't. And the Spurs, they won championships that way with Popovich. They did. And I believe they're sowing the seeds, in my opinion, to get back to that. They're in the finals now. That's proof of it.
Real quick before you come at us in the comments, yes, De'Aaron Fox not drafted.
Yes,
drafted by the Kings.
Yes.
Comes over with Harrison Barnes. Also comes over. Just to be clear, still not the point though, because honestly, what this team needed all along to get over the top was to go out and sign a 4. The fact that they went out, I mean, Fox is a heck of a player, although at the end of game 1 he faded.
Yeah.
But if you told me right now, go back in time and force this team to do it again with Castle, Vassell, and Keldon Johnson as their 1, 2, and 3. I don't think anyone's losing sleep over having to do that as a Spurs fan. So, I mean, yes, they brought him in, but I mean, and yes, he obviously is a great player, but it's not like they said we can't draft this position. The rich got richer, which I think is, and that's a conversation I'd be willing to have in the comments for sure. I think that's a little bit different than, the Yankees going, we can't, we stink at home-growing pitchers, so we're going to have to go and buy Sabathia, or we're going to have to go and buy Roger Clemens, or we're going to have to go and buy whoever, as they've traditionally done through the years, as Jabba Chamberlain sits there getting attacked by flies, right?
literally.
That's different. They've proven that they can draft pretty much anything they want. Now, you could sit there and say, well, I mean, anyone can hit when they have the number 1 pick in a WEMBY year. But again, this is a franchise that has historically, whether it be, where they found Champagne, or whether it's, where they found guys like Manu Ginobili or Tony Parker. Those weren't lottery picks, right?
True,
so this is a franchise that has proven they can do it from any position. And again, I think the story here is, regardless of what happens, you got to give flowers to the Spurs here. Now, just real quick, to go back to the WEMBY question here, I do think for WEMBY, what may matter is what becomes of this Knicks team. Yeah. I mean, I think when you look at, go back to Shaq, I don't ever knock Shaq for losing to a veteran Hakeem Olajuwon when he was 12 years old.
It's giving those vibes. The more you say it, the more it's giving those vibes to 95.
But the one we do talk about is when him and an old Malone and an old Peyton and Kobe lost to that Piston team.
Yes.
And in hindsight,
04.
we love that Piston team. I could watch, I love Ben Wallace. Shout out Ben Wallace. But that team, in terms of all-time greats,
Yeah.
I mean, they're excellent players. They're probably somewhere in the hundreds of all, like between 100 and 200, most of those guys. But they're not the same conversation as losing to Hakeem Olajuwon or losing. So, I mean, Brunson is one of the current great players of this time. But given his generally short legacy as of right now, if he wins one, but ultimately ends up, I compare him to kind of those, that 79 Supersonics team that wins with a couple All-Stars, but no great.
Yeah.
If Brunson ends up just being a several-time All-Star, but kind of fades into that secondary, even tertiary conversation, this one does hurt Wemby a little bit more. It almost would have been better if he got knocked out by SGA and SGA goes on to win 3, 4, 5 championships.
True.
Then he ends up, losing to just a little footnote in history. But with that being said, we're in the footnote era, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're now, on year 8 of a different champion winning? There aren't legacies right now.
aren't.
So in that sense, Wemby might get protected by, this particular situation 25 years ago would have looked much worse in historical context than losing to if this ends up being a one-off Knick team. And if they lose, again, but, if they lose to a one-off Knick team, that feels a lot safer on Wemby's legacy than if, Jordan had lost to Barkley in '94 or whatever, or something of that nature.
Or to like the Blazers.
Yeah, or I think Sean Kemp got in there once or something. But you got the point. One of those losses would have stung Jordan a lot more than Wemby losing to a one-off Knick team would, just because of where we are in history right now.
Yeah, like the video. Yeah, the Knicks are more seasoned. I said this coming into the series when I was talking to people of just how the teams matched up. I was like, the Knicks are playing better. They're more efficient. They're blowing teams off the. It's college basketball-esque. It's like 1 versus 16, like opening round, Duke versus Middle Valley Tech from El Paso. Of A&M. It's giving those type of vibes of what the Knicks have been just running through teams or whatnot, because they just look like they've played longer together. They've gelled. They've caught lightning in a bottle. They seem like they've been here. More business-like. We're supposed to do this, and I believe that the Spurs are a year ahead. I 100% believe that. I thought the Thunder were a slightly better team than them, and I believe that Wemby and the other role players, they just leveled up. They were just like, to hell with all the flopping. We know how to take away some of the things that you do better, OKC, and we just know how to match up against you guys, whether it's at our place or your place or whatnot, which is why they eventually took it in 7 or whatnot. I don't think it's not working thus far in this series because the Knicks just have more options.
Yeah.
It's not Brunson or bust.
Absolutely.
If this was last year's Knicks team, the Spurs would be up 2-0. The Spurs would be up 2-0 comfortably, I would say, if this was still a Thibodeau-led team or whatnot, because, again, the depth wasn't used properly. The depth wasn't even there. The game plan wasn't there, and it was really Brunson or bust. If the plan is Brunson or bust, wire to wire, Knicks aren't even here.
No,
they're not even up to. They're not even in this series or whatnot to begin with or whatnot. So just the evolution of the game plan, the evolution of the roster, the evolution of the scheme or whatnot. I think that's why the Knicks are here, why they're up 2-0, and by the time this airs, they could be. We'll have it in the graphics. Beauty post. They'll be up 2-1 or up 3-0, and
the little 90s style NBA
exactly
on NBC.
Yeah, Chop City will be looking like Shawn Michaels, with the fireworks behind him, in post.
I apologize, my fellow Knick fans. On one of our New Roads episodes, I had the Spurs winning the series once upon a time, and I fell for my own trap. We do this every year in the NFL.
Yeah.
I look at the team that loses back-to-back games to the Cardinals and Raiders in week 9, and I say that's your Super Bowl champion.
Right.
The team that goes in, the Peyton Manning team every year, because he did it 40 years in a row, it felt like, where he went in 15-1 and wasn't battle-tested, and as soon as he got into a game that was 10-10 at halftime, he didn't know how to handle himself because he hadn't been tested, whereas every year I look for Mahomes to lose a game to the Raiders, and I go, all right, good, that wakes him up, that lights the fire, right? The Spurs had the battle-tested side of the bracket.
Yeah.
And so I thought the Knicks were going to hit that adversity and struggle with it. And with minimal respect here to the rest of the East, it wasn't their fault. It just wasn't. It wasn't there for them to feel It wasn't that they couldn't handle it. It was that they didn't have to handle it.
Didn't.
I mean, they just literally steamrolled straight through the East. They were ready. They were ready for a battle.
Yeah.
And
never came.
I have
just never showed up.
And again, I have to give credit to Mike Brown here. Having that bench. I mean, Jose Alvarado has been a key player. He was brought in because there were injuries on the bench. He seemed like that kind of guy who was going to be relevant in March and then not even be on the roster roster.
Right.
And all of a sudden, he's giving us critical minutes. They're going, 10, 11 deep. Again, you can see this mold of this sort of positionless basketball from when he played with, when he coached Golden State, right? I referred to Hart as Draymond. I totally forgot Mike Brown had coached Harrison Barnes and DeAndre Fox. He's got the insider information.
He did.
I totally forgot that he coached the Nigerian Olympic team.
Yes, he did.
So he has seen Wemby's style of basketball up close and personal.
Yes, sir.
I think we sometimes give Mike Brown too much credit because he's got a nice shiny record, but he's coached Kobe, he's coached LeBron, but I think we don't give him enough credit for just how much he's seen.
A lot of basketball.
The dude
a lot
coached
of miles.
Anthony Bennett. And how many guys can say that? How many guys have that on their track record?
Ladies and gentlemen, is a pull.
So I think, we did not really consider, or at least I didn't consider, just how deep the bag of tricks went, on Team New York. And we're seeing it now because these have been 2 games that just came down to who could walk the tightrope longer or who could force the other team to fall off first. And I feel like in game 1, the Knicks just, walked the tightrope longer. And obviously in game 2, Wemby has the critical error there. But in both cases, this endurance, I think, is really the name of the game here. And then you're absolutely right. The Knicks are built to endure.
They are. Like the video. Sham is on team 12. I'm joking. Love you, Sham. Like all jokes aside. But
that's not far off. but with all due respect.
Tell me what I'm telling lies.
Tell me what I'm telling lies.
Yes, so like we said, by the time this drops, game 3 will be in the books. We'll have the graphic. Knicks will either be up 3-0 and on the precipice, or it'll be 2-1, and then palms get sweaty in the greater tri-state area. But we'll find out. Stay tuned. Let's keep it rolling, Mongo, because we gotta talk about football.
Oh yeah,
because football is king. Stanley Cup Finals. We love you.
Vegas Knights. I had you all along.
He has Knights in 6. I got Canes in 7. We'll bet a margarita on it.
All right, sounds good.
The trades. We're gonna start with the big one.
All right.
We're gonna start with the one that really rocked the NFL world, the sports world. MYLES GARRETT is a Ram. Jared Verse is a Brown. The compensation, I believe, just off ahead, I'll have it on the screen or whatnot. I believe it was Miles for Verse, and the Browns also get a future 1, a 2, and a 3.
Right in chronological order.
In chronological order.
27-1, 28-2, 29-3, straight down the line.
Now, I was a little surprised by the compensation. I was hearing reports from a very number of outlets. Again, it was all hearsay, but once Garrett's money got moved in the offseason, the antenna started to go up because I'm just like, why are they moving his money around?
Right.
Mongo, why are they doing that? And of course, the forever smokescreen, Dallas is interested. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. All right.
By law, Dallas has to be.
Literally. So I didn't put too much stock in it. Now, Max, that was a different story. We talked about that a few episodes ago. But I was surprised by the compensation. I was surprised that the trade even happened. I like Miles demanded out last year. And really, the whole situation was really clownish and foolish on his part. Yeah, a signed press release to the owner saying, I no longer want to be a Brown, and then you turn around and take the extension money.
Keep that same energy.
Money talks. Chris Tucker, where you at? And so that happens, but when the money gets moved around, I'm like, that's interesting. And then buzz starts to pick up, and then he goes, and I believe that the Browns GM said when Verse entered the chat for possible compensation, everything changed. Everything changed. Mind you, Verse is a monster.
Yeah.
He's a monster. One of the best young pass rushers, as well as just defensive linemen. Because Verse is very similar to Garrett. He's in the Garrett conversation of dominant defensive linemen with your Micah Parsons, with your Max Crosby's, with your Nick Bosa's, with your TJ Watts of the world. He's in that conversation, and he's younger. He's still on his rookie contract. He hasn't even gotten paid yet. My question to you, Mongo, is how do you feel about the two questions? How do you feel about the trade compensation? How do you feel about the NFC now? Because I love Dan Campbell's reaction. He was just like, well, I guess they won the championship. I guess they got it now, huh?
Cannon.
I'm going to go out of order here.
Go for it.
Because the NFC question, I think, is really the most interesting part of this, because the NFC is the side of the bracket that you can win in different ways. I
Agreed.
mean,
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
In the
Agreed.
AFC, spoiler, I mean, obviously we'll get to our super show at the beginning of, at the end of the summer, but I'm going to do the same thing I do every year. I'm going to foolishly pick Burrow to be my 6th seed. I'm going to foolishly pick Herbert to be my 7th
Just
seed.
copy and paste.
Lamar's going to be in there. Mahomes is going to. It's going to be the same 7 guys every year. Tua used to be my 7th. I have to find a new 7th. Maybe I'll put Klubnik in there or something. But the NFC for many years now has been the fuller package side of things.
Agreed.
And so this matters more. Getting Myles Garrett over to that side means something. Now, I still don't know if I fully buy into, this ends it. It's over.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there.
You put them into a division with the reigning Super Bowl champs, and as much as we love to make fun of San Francisco, arguably the smartest team in the NFC.
They're still the Avengers.
For what
They're still the Avengers.
I question sometimes why they don't think guys will age. I mean, but the combating they do with some of these moves is very impressive. So, and you're also doing it so early in the summer, it gives the entire NFC time to respond. This isn't like, Micah Parsons getting moved at the very end of things and completely shaking things up. So I do think it matters tremendously. I think they're now definitely a favorite, but to who and by what? And listen, no offense, I didn't have Seattle, repeating. I didn't have anyone winning in the NFC anyway. So, I think the Rams could have made a run at it with Jared Verse. So, you gave up 3 high draft picks just basically for clout, because I still would be, if I'm Arizona's left tackle, which if you're out there and you know who that is, bravo, man. Good on you. You're probably Arizona's left tackle if you know who Arizona's left tackle is.
Savagery.
But if I'm Arizona's left tackle and I see Jared Verse, I'm terrified.
Yeah.
If I see Myles Garrett, I'm terrified. The only difference is now Arizona is probably putting a tight end next to me or even shifting the guard over a little. Myles Garrett is going to get more respect. That's the only. You basically traded 3 picks for respect.
Yeah.
And does that matter? Yeah, I definitely does. Don't get me wrong, especially because you're in that quote all in. It's part of why the Simpson pick got so trashed.
Yeah.
So
by us too.
Right. So I like it, but this idea of it automatically puts them over the top. I mean, it makes them better. I'm not denying that, but I don't think they were necessarily not at the top to begin with. I mean, it's not like they jumped from a team that was going to go 3-14 to suddenly a team that's in the Super Bowl contention. They were a really good team that got better. I don't know if you want to jump in on that before I go to the Browns.
No, I do. I have to. Like the video here in Stellar 19 Studios in Jersey. The last time I checked, they're in the, like you mentioned, they're in the NFC West, right? And
correct.
The reigning Super Bowl champions, like you mentioned, they're in the West.
They're there.
And
Facts.
the San Francisco Avengers, as currently or formerly constructed, they're still in the West.
With their same, they keep sending out wide receivers to keep bringing new guys.
Literally.
And that's it.
Yeah.
The other 48 guys stay the same, and they're pretty good looking every year.
That's their only interchangeable position is wide receiver, and but Shanahan knows how to win. He knows how to win in the regular season. That's a constant. And if our favorite quarterback, Brock Purdy, stays healthy,
my boy, the Bryce Young of the West, as I like to call him.
Yes, great analogy. I second that, and third and fourth that. But and if McCaffrey stays healthy and Kittle stays healthy, so forth and so on. So the NFC West is a bloodbath. So does this move make them contenders? They were already contenders or whatnot, but they still all this kind of reinforces. There's a good chance they're going to play Seattle 3 times. Mm-hmm. That's what I said the day the trade went down. I was like, they're probably going to play Seattle 3 times, or they're probably going to play the 49ers 3 times. That's all that's all I see from that, because I understand that just from a roster construction or whatnot, but the fact that just the Lombardi is just handed to him just because it's in SoFi
is nuts.
Is insane to me. I'm like, Matt Stafford, is his back 100%? Do we know that?
No.
Has Devontae Adams played a full season in the last 3 years or whatnot? I had him in fantasy. He almost cost me a championship or whatnot. Puka Nacua, he's still in rehab. There's a lot of question marks around the roster, and that wasn't a dominant Ram defense.
No.
It wasn't on paper, maybe. Possibly, but they didn't look too dominant in the NFC Championship game. They just didn't. So is Myles Garrett a first ballot Hall of Famer, and does he make them better? Yes, but for this, Stephen A. Smith, tell me I'm telling lies, like Clown Hall of Fame and whatnot. Him coming out saying the Rams have just won the championship. He said that the next day on First Take. I'm just like, bro, it's June. Number one. One, it's June.
Check your calendar.
One is June. Check the calendar. And two, the NFC West is like I'm just gonna stand by that. It's gonna be a bloodbath in their division, and no, the Lombardi is not just handed to the Rams. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that in June.
Now, with that being said, though, because we've seen it come up, and I think I've picked this wrong the last several times. It's come up in both directions. The difference between being the NFC West winner at 12-5, let's say, and a wild card at 11-6. Could be the difference between hosting, say, the Bears week 1 and having to travel to, say, the Bucks or the
South winner.
Panther.
Very similar to in years past with the NFC East champion, as we've mentioned.
Correct.
Yes.
And so even if you believe Myles Garrett makes them one game better, which that I'm certainly willing to give you, if that's the one game that switches them from being the 5 seed to being the 2 seed, that's worth every pick. That's worth every penny. And so, again, though, that couldn't be further from they've won the Super Bowl. They cashed in on a ton of jerseys. They cashed in on a ton of name recognition. Their PR guys deserve a gold medal for making us forget about the Ty Simpson fiasco. And in the meantime, that could totally change the path. I mean, this is a veteran team that wants no part of traveling. I'm sure they don't. And so if they can swap the 2 and the 5 by winning one more game, that's an extra home game. That's not traveling to the Southeast. I mean, there's a lot to like about that idea if you're the players and if you're the Rams as a whole. So I get it. But again, I'm to your point, Stephen A., anyone else who's anointing anything here, come on, guys, it's June.
It's June, literally. Like the video. So, I mean, hold your horses. Bill Parcells, legend, Jersey guy. On top of that, former Giant great, former Cowboy great. Like, bro. Let's put the anointing oil away. It's June.
Can we just talk the Brown side real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So
Actually, you know what? Let's do that before we wrap here with the final trade. Yes, the Brown side. We do need to talk about that
because you asked about the trade compensation, and I don't mind this trade compensation because obviously getting ahead of ourselves. We'll circle back. The whole 2027 first rounder was a big issue in the Patriot-Eagle trade. And I always think that is insane because to me, the two things that should matter, like with the Jets when they were trading away their entire defense, are you trading to a team who might accidentally give you a good pick, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, that's a strike against liking this trade for the Browns because the Rams are going to be good next year. Again, do we know if this is going to be necessarily pick 24, 28, or 31? We don't know that quite yet, but we know that the Rams are not giving you pick number 3 next year.
Yeah, they're not a lottery pick.
In that sense, these are going to be later picks, but here's the thing if you're the Browns. Over the last handful of years, you've went out and, you drafted Fano and you drafted Barber this year in the draft. You have your tackles. You went out and you got Concepcion in Boston. You went out and you got Judkins. You went out and you got
Mason Graham.
You went out and now you have Jared Verse, right? Your positions that you're really looking for at a premium, you have already.
And Harold Fannin, too.
Right, Fannin as well. Right. When I look at this team, they have who is it? It's one of these Journey veteran guys. It's Malik Collins, I think. It's Malik Collins at defensive tackle. He's starting next to Graham.
Yeah.
He's 31.
Schlesinger. You completely forgot about him. All rookie team.
But I'm talking about guys you're going to need to replace in the next couple years.
Gotcha.
I'm already looking at we're replacing Collins and Elton Jenkins coming in to be the center. I still think is one of the dumbest things I saw this whole offseason. But you're not necessarily looking for a big old run stuff in DT and a center with the number 8 pick. You can use the Rams number 28 this year and the Rams number 58 or 59 next year
to get those,
right? They've put themselves in a position where they've drafted well enough and traded around the draft well enough the last couple years that the quantity of late picks may actually be more useful to this team than quality of high picks at this moment. Now, they still need to figure out what the heck they're doing at quarterback, but I still think they're a couple years away where they're probably in a good enough shape to use their own first if they want a quarterback.
To go off of that point, I'm glad you mentioned that with the quarterback. Until they figure out quarterback, this doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
This means nothing. I said that the day the trade went down too. Like if Watson, sexual assault massages aside, or Shedeur Sanders, if those two aren't your guys, now you have ammunition to possibly get your guy in this upcoming draft.
Correct.
With the capital, much richer, about 4 to 5 really good prospects at the quarterback position. You can get it figured out next year for sure. But until that position is solidified, this means nothing.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of that coin, you know, you're building. They're silently, slowly building a monster on that side, Mongo.
Yeah.
That defensive line is disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, when you just look at it on paper or whatnot.
Box is great.
Defensive backs. Ward is still there.
Ward he's there.
Yeah.
I think I want to say he's there either 2 or 3 more years, and the guy they got from Jacksonville across is 1 more year after that. But they're both there for a couple more.
Exactly. So, and you're talking to get Graham and Verse on the same defensive line. Nice. Like you got pieces to be playing on Super Wildcard Weekend with 10 wild cards, you know what I mean, on ESPN 2 or ESPN Ocho. You've got enough pieces to do it. With that being said, however, until that quarterback position is solidified, this means nothing. The Browns just have another really, 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 really good defense with no quarterback.
Because
so
you know
they've got to hit on that this year. To me, it's a very short window before this gets off the rails, and we're talking about the Johnny Manziel, Gilbert era repeating itself. You know what I mean?
So the last 25 years.
Literally.
In Cleveland. Yeah, no, I get it.
Literally. You got a 2 to 3 year window to including this year of figuring out what the hell you're doing at quarterback before this just looks like, oh, the Browns just did another dumbass thing and made another Super Bowl contender better and set themselves back another 25 years to go with the 25 years they're already set back with poor GM. I think they've gone through like 4 or 5 GMs in the last, half century anyway. So, but yeah, the quarterback position, you hit the nail on the head. They got to figure that out, or else this trade means nothing. It just does.
Right. But I think at the end of the day, if you're a Browns fan or if you're somebody out there, and most people who I've seen give the Rams like an A+, give the Browns an A- or something of that nature, which I respect. I'm about there too.
Yeah.
But if you're someone out there trashing the Browns side of this, I think there's 2 very easy questions. Do you think the Rams could have won a Super Bowl with Jared Verse? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Do you think the Browns were going anywhere before Myles Garrett retired? No, I don't.
No.
So if you're the Browns, what's the harm here?
Honestly.
What on earth is the harm of this thing?
Yes.
If the Rams win, you could say, well, that was a foregone conclusion anyway. And if neither of these teams end up winning, well, the Browns weren't winning anyway. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just a very high reward opportunity for the Browns to just shake things up. And in the meantime, how often do the Browns own the back page of something in June? I mean, good on them for just getting in the PR game. I'll give them credit.
Agreed.
Sell a few Jared Verse jerseys. I'm sure I'll end up buying one. I will.
You wore Tim Couch for last year's schedule. Season preview. But yeah, I mean, seriously, man. You gotta factor all those things in, especially with where the Browns are and where they could possibly be if they don't figure out the quarterback position. It keeps coming back to that, So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Draft day 2, starring Kevin Costner.
Absolutely. Which actually, honestly, look at what he and I forget the GM's name. He's fairly new there, but dude's got an itchy trigger finger. I mean, he's done a lot of moving in his first little bit, and for the most part, it's a way net positive.
Yeah.
If that's, and again, that's why part of this also gets an eye. If that's just who this guy is, if we just have to accept the fact that every 3-4 years, then whoever is either eating up the most currency or is about to be the most paid guy just goes out in some sort of bizarre blockbuster. Okay, that's just who these Cleveland Browns are.
Yeah.
So because we're just learning the identity of this young thunder in her here that we have in Cleveland, it's got to also have a little bit of an incomplete sense to it, not only because of the quarterback, but also because of, what are we in this era of this Browns front office?
Yeah. I mean, and should they have, I'm greedy. I'd have held out for a little bit more. I think it's a solid trade from both sides in terms of net and gross compensations and whatnot, but I'd have held out for another 2 or another conditional 3 or something or whatnot. That's just me. And I'm not taking Denzel Ward off the table. I'm like, if I'm going to be a lottery pick next year, Watson or Shedeur Sanders aside or whatnot, listen, you don't halfway tank it. There's no half measures. This isn't Tropic Thunder, baby. You don't go half expletive word. I'm moving Ward. I'm loading up on picks, man. Similar to what you guys did, obviously, in Jet Nation.
Can you add the drop of Kevin Costner demanding David Effin Putney from draft day?
I can.
You pancakey.
I can, and I will.
That's what I want right there.
I can, I will. That's good. That's the new draft, along with the draft music, which is of course going to be in loop as well. But let's get to the final case, and one more to button that up. all you idiots who are comparing the Myles Garrett trade to the Micah Parsons trade, stop it. Just stop. Just knock it off. It's over. It's done with. I feel like Damian Priest when he was talking to Rey Mysterio. Like, you're old. You're washed. It's over. Like it's over. It's done with. The full compensation is actually put to bed with this past draft. We got Caleb Downs. We got Quinnen Williams for you guys. Thanks again. I always thank you for that.
That's all right. What I mean? That's all right. It worked out for both of us. So I'm not mad about it.
Malachi Lawrence, like. We're not going to be the 35th ranked defense,
right? Yeah, you're not in the SEC West at this point anymore.
We're not exactly. We're not in the Pac 15 anymore. You know what I mean on ESPN Ocho. So yeah, like stop comparing those two trades. Now, would a Myles Garrett trade straight up? That would have been interesting. You know, I don't know if it would have happened, but that'd have been interesting had that happened.
But again, if you're out there doing that, and I don't know what you're thinking, but
honestly,
but I'll give you the stamp so you can send the letter to Jared Verse that says, "I'm sorry I compared you to Kenny Clark." Not to take anything away from, I mean, Jared, you're absolutely right. Jared Verse changes this trade's dynamic completely.
Dramatically.
There will be a point where Verse will be better than Myles Garrett, or Verse will be playing and Myles Garrett will not.
Yes.
So by default, he will be better. At some point in life, the Browns will be winning this trade.
Yes.
That's not true of Micah Parsons and Kenny Clark. I'm sorry. It just isn't.
No. And just even you can't, like, and I made the mistake last year until I saw the full capabilities and the full superpowers of Myles Garrett. I was comparing Myles, and I'll take some egg on my face for that. I put Micah ahead of Myles because of the age situation. What I didn't see, and you can't forecast injuries. You can't forecast that, number one. And number two, you can't forecast the Super Saiyan God level ascension that Myles has had over the last 2 years. I didn't see him breaking the NFL record for sacks.
Right.
I didn't see his pressure rate, his numbers continue to go up and he continues to get better and better and become more durable. And the Micah injury changes the whole conversation, especially with it being an ACL, because I can name a couple guys who had ACL injuries, Mongo, and they just didn't listen. Michael Gallup, can I interest you? Trey Diggs, can I interest you? Sean Lee a couple times, can I interest you?
Seems to be a problem for you guys.
Yeah. Elijah Barrett Tucker? Okay.
Well, beautiful segue. His name, if you're playing the AVT counter game out there, get ready because we're about to talk Patriots in a minute.
It'll be AVT watch all year, just for you. It'll be on.
I'm always code AVT at all times.
I love it. Tell me what tell lies. But let's bring it home in the final segment. All right, we got to talk about AJ Brown is a New England Patriot. Something that we called on this show in this country many times? And oh yeah, I'm petty. I'm petty. So I go back to comments from clowns on TikTok and Instagram and occasionally on YouTube. Sidebar. Like and subscribe. Thank you for your comments. Bad or good.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. To do. I mean,
don't you love the ones where they're just like, oh man, they allow everybody to have a podcast. Oh, look at this idiot. Like, what the hell does he know? And so I went back to the AJ Brown conversation that we had about 3 or 4 episodes ago, saying that AJ Brown is out. He's out. He's like Adam Schefter about 3 months ago said, yeah. He's gone. It'll happen post June 1 because of the cap hit.
Right.
And rightfully so. Not to mention, this guy's been checked out reading books and New York Times bestsellers on the sidelines for how many weeks now? You know, like he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be there because the situation at quarterback of another generational quarterback in Philadelphia has been problemsome, of a guy who doesn't throw over the middle to, like, those 50-50 balls, lobs or fades that have bailed him out of a lot of situations or whatnot. That's not there anymore, Mongo.
Right.
That's not. So Brown goes to the Patriots as we predicted. He reunites with Mike Vrabel, who never wanted to trade him. Sidebar: the GM who made that trade happen, he was fired.
Right.
Like he's at a ESPN 5 network near you, whatnot, out of work with Mike Mayock. You know, so it's just like, this trade needed to happen. This trade was always going to happen. Drake May is loving this because this makes his job a little bit easier. Mongo, is this addition by subtraction? Does this make the Eagles better, or does this make the Patriots better? Like, that's my biggest question to you. I got my own take on it. I'll get to mine, but who's going to benefit from this trade more, not just now, but in this next? Because I think both are competing for Super Bowl for the next 3 to 5 years if their rosters stay intact or whatnot before salary caps and foolishness from front offices happen. For now in the next 3 to 5 years, who's going to benefit more from this trade?
Nobody. No, so here's the thing.
Go for it.
On paper, the Eagles, both sides, I'll say it this way, both sides check boxes. So let's talk about the boxes first. On the Eagles side, they get rid of somebody who they clearly were okay getting rid of.
Malcontent.
They invest right. They invest the capital in Lemon. Right. They made it very clear that he was on the market. He clearly wanted out of there with the book reading and all that nonsense. And when you look at what the Eagles have lined themselves up with, obviously it's nice capital coming back for him, even though it's not in the loaded, which, sorry, sidebar for a minute. This idea of the loaded draft or the not, like, no one has ever said, well, the Ravens had a bad pick because it was a bad draft, right? The Ravens pick good. Like, the Jets pick bad.
They're good at it.
It does not matter. Like, you gave the Eagles a pick. Enjoy whatever Georgia defenseman they're going to take that goes to the Pro Bowl 4 times.
Savage.
It doesn't matter what year it is. You gave the Eagles ammunition.
Yeah.
That's why. So to me, that part is the dumbest part of anyone evaluating.
Agreed.
This.
Tell me I'm
Give
telling
the
lies.
Eagles a
Agreed.
7th rounder and you've given them a backup nose tackle for 8 years.
Agreed.
I mean, it doesn't matter. But what the Eagles have done here in their receiving room, Smith, can certainly be a 1. Lemon, they're banking on him being a 2. Hollywood Brown, Wicks behind that, and Elijah Moore behind that. Those guys roughly come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you're describing kind of where they average out. So they were able to get capital, which is basically Howie Roseman's best, weapon. He's better at drafting than anything else. And they still have a receiving room that looks intact. But at the same time, this has not been a particularly normal team. This is not a team that, not just even under Jalen Hurts, but traditionally, how many times have the Eagles had depth at receiver that has just completely come and gone, or vice versa? How often have they had the Hank Baskets of the world where you're like, where'd that guy come from?
James
Right?
Thrash, Todd Pinkston.
Right, exactly. This is not a team that
Freddie Mitchell.
that built itself this way, and so I'm a little bit. If this was a different team under different leadership with a different quarterback, it's brilliant. It really is, but it does not feel terribly Eagles-y. And then, like you alluded to, this is a team that's all in right now, right? Yeah. We're going to definitely see a complete shift when Lane Johnson, goes, and Saquon's definitely on, the back 9. And so to make a trade like this at all, where you're getting rid of a veteran receiver, you got to question that, right? So it makes sense, but you're definitely taking on some risk because you're really going in the kind of like the Ty Simpson draft pick, right? You're inherently going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Now for the Pats, you're getting the best player in the trade. Generally speaking,
Agreed.
That's a win, right? You're getting the stud. He does pair up with Vrabel. But here's my concern on this side of things. Yes, he was, there were guys who supported him in Tennessee, but he has overstayed his welcome twice.
Yeah.
He has been moved on twice. And so by all accounts, he'll be happy back with Vrabel. He'll be happy with a team that went to the Super Bowl. And people keep saying the Patriot offensive line is better.
No. I got to say no to that.
Morgan Moses is 35.
Yeah, he's like our age.
Elijah Vera Tucker is not going to make it to week 8. I'm sorry. He never does. Why should I believe that?
He might.
And Will Campbell came out today and said, I'm only 22. Who I am now is not who I'm going to become. Now, that's a noble statement. It's a scientifically true statement. But at the same time, let's say we get to week 9. Will Campbell is blaming the 5 sacks he gave up against the Bills on the fact that he's young.
Savage.
Morgan Moses has 1 foot into the retirement door. AVT's not there. And you got guys like Mac Hollins on this team. You got guys like Hunter Henry. You got great guys to check down to. If Drake May is running for his life and is using those guys instead, and you got, 3rd week in a row, Mac Hollins leads the team in receptions.
It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter.
Well, here we are again. We're going to have A.J. Brown reading a book on the sideline again. You gave up 3 picks for a textbook at that point. What are we doing? So I think people are giving New England too much credit as a bulletproof team. And I just think, you can't blame them for going all in. They were just on the precipice of a Super Bowl. Yeah. They're trying to get better. They go out and get a guy who's clearly got talent, who you could clearly get for a discount because everyone on earth who has one eye open knew the Eagles were in seller mode. So I get it. And I get that. Listen, if my GM came in for an interview and said, "Oh no, we don't take any risks around here. I wouldn't give them the job.
Yeah.
So I get what they're doing, but anyone out there who says this is a slam dunk, like, what do we do? You could easily see a path where this thing implodes, and not like implodes like on the Ram side, like maybe they end up not winning a Super Bowl and they gave up a first just to go as far as Jared Verse would have gotten them. That's what we call a wash.
Yeah,
This has a chance to literally implode.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, the last thing I'll say before I pass it off, the Patriots are in a nifty position here where they could theoretically win about anywhere between 7 and 11 wins and still finish second in the division. The margin of error for them to screw around is pretty ginormous. So again, I respect them for that too, because they know it's a little bit different than the bloodbath over in the NFC West, right?
Yeah.
They're just kind of competing to get in. As long as they believe they're one of the 7 best in the AFC, they don't have to worry about getting jumped by the Jets or Miami this year, and probably not for a couple years. So they can mess around a little bit in that sense, but man, shades of like when Vince Young called the Eagles the dream team. You know, shades of rose-colored glasses here that really, really worry me, and not even because I'm a Jet fan, but I've always been an AJ Brown fan. I'm definitely a Mike Vrabel guy. You know, I worry that they have set themselves up here for just overly optimistic, inevitable failure.
Like the video. This is the final point I'll make on that, and then we'll bring it on home. I think that this is a prove-it deal for both sides. I think we talked about it with start with the Pats. We talked about it that their offensive line and just their roster looked very overwhelmed when they played an elite team, just elite roster. They beat up on bad teams. They took advantage of a soft schedule and got exposed. Really shouldn't have even made it to Super Bowl if Sean Payton, like you said, had read the weather report or whatnot.
Right. If Sean Payton understood what weather was.
Exactly. So on that side, and on top of that, the Drake May anointing oil is over here. It's with our bottles here. Like I'm seeing a lot of Bo Nix comps right there. That's just me with that situation. On top of the scandal in the cloud with the Rosini stuff is still hanging over, as well as the Stephon Diggs aftermath as well with him leaving the roster. A lot of chatter, a lot of going and dealings with New England on that side. With the Eagles to bring this home. Jalen Hurts, you're going to have to throw the football over the middle of the field. Yeah. You are. Because A.J. Brown was a boundary bailout when the off script, I can't read coverages. I got A.J. Brown, so lob. Bailed him out numerous times. Even during the Super Bowl run, bailed him out numerous times with A.J. Brown just 50-50 ball, I'm better than you or whatnot. Right. So you don't have that anymore. You don't have 50-50 ball bail you out anymore with Devontae Smith. This isn't Alabama. This isn't the SEC. He's not going against LSU or Arkansas or whatnot. Also, Mekhi Lemon, you got to throw the ball to him over the middle. Devontae Smith, you got to throw the ball over the middle. The kid they drafted from Vanderbilt, you got to throw the ball over the middle. Dallas Goedert, he's still there. Got to throw the ball over the middle. Everybody they have, Hollywood Brown, you think he's a 50-50 guy? Mongo, we're both taller than Hollywood Brown. Right. You got to throw the ball over the middle. Wicks, who they got from the Packers, whatnot. You got to throw the ball over the middle of the field,
or 500 yards down the field. You have two options. Sam, I'll give you that.
Exactly. That's it. Those are the only two options. Because I'm not putting this out there. We don't do hot takes on here. Unfiltered, authentic conversations. It's on the merch. The Eagles front office has no problems moving off of a guy. Yeah. Moving off of a head coach, moving off of a quarterback, even after they paid him. Carson Wentz, where are you? Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Peterson, where are you? Nick Foles, where are you? They built a statue for Philly 2 years later. Not even. Both guys are gone. One was fired. So all this that we're hearing of, this is kind of a prove a year. This isn't a kind of prove a year. This is a big year for Jalen Hurts, because that all that chatter about him being a shitty leader and a malcontent with in a leadership position to other players and just doing his own thing, going off script, saying F you to the coordinator, doing his own thing or whatnot, all that was confirmed. That was not hearsay or whatnot. And you know the last quarterback, Mongo, who had those issues? Carson Wentz. Right. He had a whole freaking page in the Philly Inquirer about issues in the front office and issues with guys saying, should we give this guy the money? And the other players are like, is this our guy? And yes, he gave them a Super Bowl, or he was a part of the Super Bowl roster or whatnot. But, dude, Mongo, nobody's coming off the bus saying, damn, we got to stop Jalen Hurts. They weren't doing it the year they won the championship. They weren't doing it the year before when they got to the Super Bowl. They weren't doing it last year. At no point are teams getting off the bus in the AFC or NFC like, damn, that number one, man, we gotta stop him. The only time they're doing that is, damn, we gotta stop that tush push. Right. We gotta stop that 1 yard run or whatever. So now you take away AJ Brown, buddy. You better throw the ball over the middle of the field. You better show that you can throw the ball for more than 1 yard in the second half of games, because you ain't getting away with that shit next year.
Right.
It's not happening. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, I mean, the two things are, because the Giants got annihilated for this, right? For Saquon's first couple years, the quarterback shouldn't be the first guy on the offense on a Saquon Barkley team. I mean, and so maybe again, I'm not saying we necessarily will or won't, but if we are going to see the true Saquon experience, 3 yards in a cloud of dust that every now and then turns into 300 yards, I'm invested. I'm willing to hear this out.
It's fun.
And we didn't talk about it on our show, but in hindsight, and especially now that you remind me, Hollywood Mighty Mouse Brown there, Denzel Boston made so much more sense as a direct replacement for AJ Brown, to a point where you look at the guys they mentioned, and I do still believe they have a true 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vibe to them, but they're also 5 guys, and trust me, I know this is from Elijah Moore's brief time with the Jets. They're 5 guys who you can just kind of envision this sort of pickup game style scrambling, which does kind of go with the Jalen Hurts narrative you just described. So if they're either going to just take Hurts off the leash or just be a team that runs 70% of the time, again, it goes back to that idea of, and I get that this is a cop-out, but what makes these grades have an I component to them? Yeah. For the Eagles, the incomplete component of this is, are they going to change the offense in a way that either demeans Jalen Hurts or plays into Jalen Hurts' strengths? Because I'm with you. Yeah. If the plan here is we're going to ask Jalen Hurts to do more to effectively spite A.J. Brown, to effectively make it look like we don't need you.
Recipe for disaster.
That is going to go very, very, very poorly.
Recipe for disaster.
That I'm with you completely.
He wasn't that guy at Bama. He wasn't that guy at Oklahoma, and he's never been that guy in Philadelphia. Even Eagle fans are going to come in the comments. Super Bowl performances aside, he's never been the reason. He's never been the step off the bus. Like, man, defensive coordinators losing sleep. Man, Hurts might throw for 400 tonight. Like, man, we better no. How do we stop the run? How do we get pressure on him? How do we make him scramble to his left? It's like it's the same game plan. Every time the Eagles lost, Mongo, the last 2 years or whatnot, they've lost the same exact way. Yeah. They pressure the same exact way. They have the same bracket coverages. They allow AJ Brown to get maybe a couple plays off. They take that away. They take away Saquon, and they're just like, all right, oh, you're gonna throw it to Dallas Goedert. Let me just put a guy underneath that and take that away. Oh shit, I gotta scramble now, and plays right into their hands.
Listen, Super Bowls are a great deodorant, but at the end of the day, I mean, now granted they had a guy at the time, but the Jalen Hurts pick was questioned when it happened. I mean, we forget that because you win a Super Bowl and all of a sudden
he's the first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, it doesn't matter.
We humor the Joe Flacco to the Hall of Fame conversation because that's what we do as sick NFL fans. Lord. But at the end of the day, I mean, this was a pick that was questioned to begin with. This was a guy whose future was questioned to begin with, and he's had a fun run, but. Guys, it's the NFL. Stars fade. Stars fade real fast in the NFL.
Especially in Philadelphia.
Right, and so, if could you imagine a world where this completely backfire? I mean, if he goes 5-12 this year, are we just done? Are we just done right here? And maybe that's part of it too. It's a prove it year.
They've done it before.
The idea behind a prove it year is, well, what happens if we disprove it, right? And so in a loaded 2027 class, that might be the other mentality here. Let's put all our chips in this year, knowing that with the extra 28 pick, where if we have to move up, we can. And in the meantime, this is the all-in year for Hurts because, listen, you could finish 8 and 9 next year and still be in play to get a pretty decent quarterback. So, I in that sense, I commend the Eagles. Let Hurts cook. Let him, play his sort of pickup style ball and see what happens. And if it backfires horribly, you feel more confident it will than I do. I feel it'll be backfire if they try to make him a true pocket quarterback. But either way, we can both see.
I'm with you on the same point.
We could both see a recipe for disaster on both sides here, but definitely for Philly, it's not a terrible time to have 3 first-rounders over the next 2 years when you look at the next couple of drafts coming in.
It's not. Like the video. It's not. And again, like famous last words, I remember Howie Roseman, this is the final point, and we'll wrap here. I remember Howie Roseman saying, I think the night after round 2, because they picked up Hurts in round 2. Like, yeah, the plan is for Carson to be here for over a decade. Like, the plan isn't for Jalen to replace Carson. He said that.
Yeah, it never made. He
said that.
That's part of why the pick got trashed. Then we're like, well, then, are you making him a receiver? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing with this guy?
Is he Terrell Pryor?
Yeah.
Like what are we doing here? But we're gonna unpack it on here, and we'll on this show.
Two teams definitely to keep an eye on this year. I think
sir.
The league got more interesting by these 4 teams doing this. I'll say that.
Absolutely. Like the video, and round of applause. Oh my goodness, Mongo. This was a moment. This was a vibe, and also new music. Jonah the Great. I played it for you in the car on the way out. Jonah the Great is out now on all platforms. Eddie Heartthrob, my brother, South Jersey in the building. Love you, dog. He featured and produced the track as well. Jonah the Great, streaming on all platforms. I'll give it to Shop City. He'll be working out to it as well. I'll be working out to it as well. But we're gonna bring it on home here. That's the belt. You know who had this? Booker T had this one. Spinneroonie. Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's Mongo. He's got the beard and the merch. I'm U-Goboy. I've got the beard and the merch and all the rings. Knicks in 4, Spurs in 7. Who knows?
Knicks in 4. as it comes out, Spurs 93, Knicks 42 in the 3rd.
You love to see it. Stellar 19, Chop City somewhere with the guns out. The intern's here too. She's got the guns out. We're at Stellar 19. Bravery soon. Thanks for tuning in. Come on this journey. Come on back. This has been another episode of the U-Goboy Podcast Sports Talk with U-Goboy and Mongo. Love you guys. Peace. Yahtzee.
Woo! Secure the bag. I need more. Hey, 3P Jordan. Whoa. Woo! It on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace, Brianna.
You go, boy.
Yahtzee.
It's your boy, U-Goboy, and my friends at New York Posse. They're gonna hook you up with some official gear. The Knicks are hotter than ever, and they're gonna get you right with some official snapbacks, beanies, official gear, official like tissue, baby. Hit that promo code below, 2024. Get 20% off on all New York Posse gear. Hit the link below, and they're gonna get you right. It's your boy, U-Goboy. Yahtzee.